What's going on, LEGO Maniacs? It's Ty, the LEGO guy here, and welcome to another Old School Wednesday review. Today we're taking a look at the Aquazone theme, specifically the largest set to come out of it, which is the Neptune Discovery Lab. That's set 6195. It had 508 pieces, 4 minifigures, retailed for $89 USD, and it came out in 1995. Now nowadays, this is going for 579 new or 123 used. I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, this is one of the best sets to come out of 1995, but we're gonna get into its positives and its negatives as usual. But enough talk, let's get right into it. And to start us off, we'll begin by giving you guys a 360 view of the smaller build that's included. It's not really that small though. This is quite a sizable sub, pretty big interior too, which coincides with the main feature of this set, how it kind of works. Love these orange propellers too. Love the fact that you can spin them. And it has some nice printing on it as well. And the main feature, or the main part of the set that we'll center in on to begin, is just going to be the cockpit. Now what I love is the fact that it has this big, or two big blue pieces that make it up. And if you open it up, it has a computer piece. That's what it looks like. It almost reminds me of Battleship. Interesting printed piece. And then there's another printed piece right here. Just basically shows a sub. And the main feature, well, before we get into that, I also want to mention this has a compass on the very top, which is quite cool. It does work as well. As you can see, it's rotating. These were included a lot in the pirate sets. And you're probably wondering what's going on in the interior of this. Well, if you open her up, this is where you can kind of store stuff. So you can store the crystal in here, although the crystal tends to go right to the front. But what it's theoretically supposed to do is he has his claw and he kind of puts the crystals back here because that's what they're sort of searching for. The other thing that I loved about the 90 sets is it has a magnet and it does work. So here's one of those little crates, bang. Overall, really like this little sub. Definitely has a lot going on with it. I'd almost like to mod the interior of this and just put a couple seats so you could store a couple Aquanauts in there. But yeah, overall, pretty cool looking little sub. Let's now take a look at the meat of the set. And here it is. So I'll attempt to give you guys a 360 view of the base. As you can see, it's quite large. I'd say it's exactly 2 feet probably in length, about a foot in width, which is about half a meter in length, and about maybe 1/4 of a meter in width. So very, very large. I was very surprised when I did buy this and I built it up with how big it was. There's a lot going on, which is part of the reason why I love this set so much. It perfectly captures what you'd want an underwater base to be. Let's now break it down area by area. And we'll start by taking a look at what basically is an underwater watchtower. Love the idea of this huge big blue dome. Opening her up, you can do so just like so. It contains a little spear. This is made in chrome, or it's covered in chrome I should say. It's very similar to the chrome lightsaber hilts that we got with Star Wars. And then it also has an interesting little control panel. Cool looking printed piece. And so you guys get an idea of what it looks like with a minifigure inside. You can very easily fit one. You could probably fit 3 minifigures in there if you wanted to. This includes an octopus. This may have been the first theme to ever include them. And moving to the center of the build, you'll notice another printed piece. This just shows a sub along with another one of those crystal containers. You can open it up just like so and give you guys a little bit better view of a crystal. These are also covered in that chrome silver Really do like these pieces. And this mechanism's kind of, I think if you're to mix in with the lore, it's how they're kind of converting the crystal into oxygen so they can be underwater. And you can raise this window piece and take the crate right out if you so desired. It also has what they use a lot in the firefighting sets, kind of like the fire hose. Not sure why that's there, but you know, they're just trying to give the idea that this is some sort of mechanism and it's converting the crystal. At least that's what I think they're doing. Moving to the other side of the base, this is where you store the sub. Now if you remove it, it's probably the most lackluster part of the model, but still it makes practical sense. The sub has to land somewhere. Love this base plate. Check out all the printing on it. Just looks so good. But what we're gonna do now is let's show off the main feature of this set and kind of what you're probably wondering what's going on in the center of the base and how that feature that I keep talking about kind of works. So you'll notice on the top here, they have this massive crane, and what's cool about it is you can lower it like so, just by pushing this piece down, or rotating it I should say. And how that kind of works is, remember the sub? Let's say you wanted to grab the crystal from the sub. He's captured the crystal. You can open this claw as well and lower it. Imagine you could have so much fun with this as a kid or as an adult. And as you can see, picked up the crystal just like so. And you can take it to this side and literally drop it in there. It works so well. And what you do now, let's actually give you guys a little bit closer look. So now that it's made its way to this part of the model, what you can do is just rotate this propeller piece and you'll notice the crystal has disappeared. Where did it go? Let's open up the main base, and if you open this up, the crystal is right down there. So that just works. It's a really cool looking little feature, or working feature. It comes all the way down from here, makes its way down from there into that little cubby basically. What we're gonna do now though is I just wanna give you guys a little bit closer look of the main area of the base. Here's what it looks like. As you can see, they have a computer piece right here, along with a couple more of those spears on the side, some flippers. And what I liked about this too is it has a couple doors, and I wanna show those off to you, how you can kind of access the main base. So there's a control panel right here, and you can raise this door. Gives them access to the interior. The back of this I absolutely love too. Check out those big translucent blue pieces. I didn't think that there was anything back here, but yeah, they bothered to put some windows. It would have been nice if it was a bit open, just because it would be easier to play with, but you can still play with it quite a bit from the front. And there is another door right here. So a very practical little base. Overall, really like this model. Let's now take a look at the minifigures. Here we have 3 of the 4 Aquanauts, and I just wanted to mention that the one on the far right is identical to this minifigure, so we won't show him off. Love the look of these underwater suits. This is definitely more futuristic. LEGO hasn't really ever done a theme again like this, and I really wish they would, because an underwater futuristic theme is just the perfect mix in my books. They don't have any back torso printing, back face printing, none of that. But what we'll do now is I'll just remove their underwater suits, give you guys a better view of their torso printing, along with their face printing. My favorite diver of the 4 is definitely probably this guy. I like the fact that he also has a blue visor, translucent blue visor, but the other ones are not too bad. This guy's face is really weird. It just seems like it's a smaller face than any of the other 3 minifigures, or 2 minifigures I should say. Not terrible, I've just always thought it was kind of odd. His face looks disproportionate is basically what I'm saying. Love these chrome knives as well. Thought this was a good area to kind of show that off. good area of the video. Overall, pretty cool looking minifigures. Definitely are basic by today's standards, but I think they get the job done. And again, that underwater suit just looks so good. Let's now get into the end of the review and get my final thoughts. Well guys, that was my review. Do hope you enjoyed it. As you guys have probably noticed from the positivity with this review, I love this model. You basically get everything you'd want in an underwater base. You get a large base, you get a big sub, you get this awesome crane feature, how they kind of store their crystals, which if I'm getting the lore correct, crystals allow them to breathe, so obviously they have a lot of different little mechanisms to take advantage of them. You get this really big, or two really big base plates. Overall, very happy with this model. The minifigures could be a little bit more unique. The fact that you get two that are the same is kind of, why? But we're being very picky here. Overall, really like this model, and if you get it for a good deal, go out and buy it. It will not disappoint. This may be my favorite model of 1995. I'm not sure, there's some really good pirate sets and castle sets that came out around that time, but again, just amazing set. You also get a lot of big translucent blue pieces. Overall, this one definitely gets a thumbs up. But as always, let me know what your personal thoughts are in this one, if you like it, if you don't, any areas you think they could maybe improve on it. I just think it's a perfect underwater base. But that pretty well does the review, but if you liked it, leave it a thumbs up. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing and click that bell so you're notified for any future old new sets we do. We do 2 of them basically every single month, and this by far is one of the best ones I think that I've ever reviewed on the series. But that's all I got for you again, but thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.